You're probably wondering, why is this episode called What is Minecraft? Well, that will become clear very soon. We pretty much had an in-depth conversation about Minecraft. I learned a lot, actually. But what we are doing today is reacting to Dave's first show. Sit back, grab some popcorn, do whatever you do.
Oh, yeah. Hi, so in preparation for Bright Club, I thought I'd try and look up some analogies, or come up with some analogies for stem cells and stem cell research to... Oh, I'm finally on the mic. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was a good start. To look up some, or come up with some stem cell analogies to help explain what I do. And being a scientist and not an arts person, I've got no imagination, so I did have to look them up and just Google stem cell analogies and see what the internet gives me. And I found a stem cell research charity that was comparing stem cells to Minecraft and describing stem cells as the building blocks of the body. And it kind of annoys me, just because I'm not sure if this mic is really working.
It's funny because he was always boasting about teaching correct microphone technique.
Sorry.
To be fair, that mic was held together by duct tape.
Because
So.
Yeah.
people think that Minecraft is just about building, and Minecraft's about a lot more than just building. Okay, I play a lot of Minecraft. I was between jobs recently, and pretty much all I did was play Minecraft, and I wasn't just building things with blocks. Okay. I was doing lots of other stuff. I was growing loads of crops. I've got wheat, carrots, potatoes, sugar, melons, cocoa, pumpkins. Yeah, it's great. I've traded all those things with villagers, get some emeralds. So and I've got a sheep called Jeb, whose wool changes colour. So please don't tell me that Minecraft is just about building things with blocks, okay? And even if it was just building, if there were stem cell blocks in Minecraft, it would just ruin it and make it too easy. It'd be like cheating. You just take a stem cell block, and then you'd be able to make a load of other stem cell blocks. And then you'd be able to take some of those and get some stone blocks, and some wood blocks, and some dirt blocks, and what would be the fun in that? I spent hours mining for that stone and chopping down trees.
He really did.
I was playing in creative mode. But I play it in survival mode. Real men play it in survival mode. Okay, you got to work for this stuff, and then you got to get back in your house at night, or the zombies will try and kill you. Okay, that's how men play Minecraft. I'm not supposed to be talking about Minecraft. I'm supposed to be talking about stem cells. That's what it says on the bill. I'm sorry. I got carried away there. So sometimes I try and explain what I do to people from other countries, and then the easy first thing to do is look up what the word for stem cell is in their language. And then
Oh no!
Oh, here it comes.
Because hopefully they've already heard of stem cells. So, for example, in German, stem cell is Stammzelle. But to me, Stammzelle sounds like something that Joseph Fritzl might have said to his daughter when telling her to get back in the basement.
He was so nervous.
Oh.
So, get back to my research. I'm supposed to be talking about my research. Okay. So I did my PhD on embryonic stem cells. And
it's because we said we'd laugh for him.
About embryonic stem cells, it's that they can become any type of cell that we have in our body. So then when I tell people that I work on embryonic stem cells, their natural reaction is, oh, if you can make all these different types of cells, you could treat a load of different diseases. You could treat diabetes, blindness, Alzheimer's. So which one of these are you treating? Which one are you trying to cure? But my research was actually on trying to keep stem cells as stem cells. And then people think I'm an idiot and go, you're doing the opposite of what we as the public want you to be doing. This is not good research. You're not going to help anything. But I want to tell you guys that I'm not an idiot, and the research I was doing was worth it. Okay, so hopefully you'll understand me and believe me that I'm not an idiot. I've got a PhD, so some people at least think I'm not an idiot, maybe. So one thing that you could use this kind of research for is to try and help our bodies heal themselves better. So we've got stem cells inside of us that then maybe you could try to make them better stem cells. So you could use what I've learned about what keeps embryonic stem cells happy, and then try and apply that to the stem cells in our body to try and make them happier and better stem cells and help them heal you. So I've come up with this health drink. I'm going to tell you about it exclusively. Okay. So I haven't tested this. This is just in my mind at the moment. So you can wait and see. Maybe I am an idiot. So what I learned about embryonic stem cells was that they like to rapidly consume a lot of sugar really fast. And we found that trying to stop them consuming all this sugar reduced how effective they were as stem cells, how happy they were as stem cells. So then, conversely, maybe we just need to forcibly make the stem cells in our bodies eat a load more sugar, and then there'll be better stem cells. That seems to make sense, I think. So my new health drink is just basically really, really sugary iced tea. Okay, just loads of sugar in there. I'm calling this Body Rebuilders Tea.
He was so proud of this joke too. I remember in rehearsal.
I remember there was a big punchline he was building too. I forgot that.
Yeah, it was always about like building a story. So we used to Jess arranged so this was the first show, and Jess had arranged like loads of people to come and teach us about improv, stage presence, comedy writing. So we actually got the university's comedy society to come and run a workshop, and Dave just ran with it. And then after that, like Dave and I used to run that workshop for successive shows. It was really useful. And Dave loved this whole like mind mapping comedy writing technique. Like it's really interesting when you watch his set. You're like, it feels so free flowing, but so much planning went into it. And I remember this was like Dave used to run that comedy writing workshop, and he'd be all about the mind map, where you'd get different ideas that are so remotely related to each other, but they all have this common link, which is in his case stem cells. And he would use this Body Rebuilders tea story to explain to each group like how you get this from this mind map to making a story about sugary iced tea. I've heard it like 15 times.
How was it taking on the role from Comedy Sock and teaching other people how to perform? And, you know, stand-up comedy is really hard because you have to make sure that there's a thread throughout your story and obviously the end punchline. So how is that communicating to other people?
I think we just had a really good pair of people from Comedy Sock to teach the first one, which meant, and then like people like Jess, Dave, myself, other people like Duncan Parker and Paul Gow, we all like were really into it, so we took loads of notes, and that really helped us then make our own workshop, because obviously we couldn't afford to keep paying all these people every time to do it, so we had to adapt to make our own version. So we were really keen to take notes, and also with Bright Club, because it's taking researchers and making them, you know, do something they're not really used to or necessarily comfortable. We weren't there to tell them what is comedy and what isn't. We were just there to be like, be yourself, and then throw in a few jokes, you know?
Yeah, I love that.
So when we were writing our own workshop, there was no like, you must do it this way or that way. Just sit down. We used to give them notepads. So every time we would just say, look, get a notepad, and any time over the next 3 months, because that's how often we ran a show, if you think of something, just write it down. That was really the key to these things. Which I think helps. You always have. I always have like a notepad open on my iPhone where I just write some stupid idea, whether I use it for this or comparing like Pint of Science or something like that.
Oh, beautiful! I like that. It's bringing in your own insights and I guess stories and making it personal, but also making it relatable to the audience so that they do laugh. And yeah.
I mean, Sadie, how did you find it when we were running workshops?
I think. The workshop was really helpful, and then I remember I went away with my like what I'd written down, and then we did like a mock performance in one of the big lecture theatres in physics, and that was probably really scary as well, because you know it's only like 4 of the people who who are performing, but they're really like analysing your jokes and stuff. So in a way, that's actually more scary than the performance, because the performance I had like 7 friends who all sat in front of me and they'd all agreed they would laugh. So, but yeah, obviously the practicing and kind of understanding how you make jokes out of, real life stories is obviously really helpful to give you confidence.
Oh, I love that.
That
Yes.
practice in the lecture theatre thing was one of the tips that Steve Cross gave us. So Steve, he was at UCL, he started the first Bright Club, and then whenever like a franchise or a different one was set up, like Southampton, he'd come. So he came down and gave us some training, which was us sat in the back garden of the Crown pub having a chat. You know, it was fun. But he gave us all these amazing tips, like do the practice run in a lecture theatre and make it as horrible as possible for the practice, because if you can survive, like Sadie says, doing it in a massive open space with no people in it, not laughing, taking notes, if you can survive that, you can do it in a pub where everyone has invested in being there and wants to find you funny, and you've got a professional compere who gets the right mood going, and yeah, and all these tips like laugh loudly, because laughter's contagious. So for the first show, not just for Dave, the whole thing, anyone who was involved, we were all just laughing as loud and hard as we possibly could. And it was funny. It wasn't forced laughter, but we were just like, we need to make our laughs loud so that other people copy us. And
yeah, I remember. So one of the comedians from Comedy Sock that did our training was Joe Hart, who is like a full-time professional comedian and writer. And I distinctly remember after Dave's Joseph Fritzl joke, I remember Joe Hart's like really loud laughter. It was almost like that Alan Carr, like you could hear. I distinctly remember that laughter in the this was at Avondale House, which was the first show, which was just on like Carlton Crescent near Bedford Place. And I remember Joe laughing because Dave had explained that joke in advance, so we were like, well, we'll laugh at it, and Joe was like, don't worry, it'll be fine. So funny.
Oh, I love it. Should we finish this set and then talk more about how the first performance went and how easy it was to organise?
Yep.
With this, that all of that sugar in that very, very sugary drink might not be that good for you, might cause diabetes. Okay, that's not a great side effect for my thing that might help you heal your broken bones or something. But don't worry, because as those people who told me I was an idiot for not trying to work on curing diseases with stem cells would say, they're saying, well, you could cure diabetes with stem cells. So hopefully someone else is doing that somewhere. And then, yeah, my health drink will work fine. So, yeah, it'll be great. Right. You guys have been great. Thank you.
Oh, I love that.
Hard work for me because I don't know about Minecraft. I have literally no idea what it is. So yeah, I'm laughing, but mainly because I don't know what he's on about.
It's just like a first-person game where you build stuff on computer.
Video game.
No, the Sims. Like that?
Maybe a better way to say it is like, imagine I mean, I haven't played it, but you get these, you see what it is online. You start with an open plane, and then you just pick blocks. You might start with just land or something. Everything consists of cubes. So if you like stick your pickaxe into the ground, a cube of grass will come out. If you stick your pickaxe again, you get a cube of mud or whatever. And the idea is that different parts of land will have like gold and whatever. So that's what he means. You have to like mine for stone and things like that. And actually, the Minecraft at that time, Minecraft was massive. Like there were literally people.
No, kids would play it and stuff, and they'd always be on it. But
I mean, grown adults were filming themselves playing Minecraft, and there's people now who own like multi-million-dollar houses in the LA hills just from what they made from filming themselves play Minecraft and putting it on YouTube. They're bigger than some of the celebrities you see in Hollywood. There you go, that's Minecraft.
Minecraft background.
Yeah, this is what it looks like.
I think maybe just because I have such a short attention span, I would just be like, I'd give up. I'd have built a fence or something, and then I'd be bored. Yeah.
Okay, back to real life.
Wait, I think Jess is frozen.
Oh, is she? Oh. She'll come back, I believe. I hope. Sometimes it's one of those things. I used to have that in meetings, so I had to turn the camera off, turn it back on.
Yeah.
The beauty of video conferencing. But during these times, super, like, just the way that we can connect with people now. Imagine this situation 20 years ago. Logistically, how easy, so away from the comedy, how easy was it to book shows and tell people, oh, we're bringing in, comedians or researchers who've never done comedy to do comedy? Were people like, yeah, okay?
I think after the first 2 or 3 shows, I mean, even after the first one, it was kind of like, oh, we just have to repeat that, but with new people. And then actually that pub, the Avondale House, when we went back to them to say, hey, can we have you back again? Because they were happy with us. They said, unfortunately, they closed down. Oh. So then we had to find somewhere else. Where did we go? We went down the road to this like Cuban and salsa themed place. And then, so Avondale House didn't charge us. They were pretty cool with everything, because we never made, we were like a non-profit group. We were kind of like a charity. So any money we made from ticket sales was to then pay professional comedians. So each show had 2 professional comedians, one to headline and one to be the host of the show. So actually, anyone who bought a ticket for the show got a really good deal out of it, because they'd get 5 sets of comedy from researchers, and then they'd get 2 professional comedians, right? And we didn't just get any old person. We'd actually look for some cool, hey, Jess is here.
Sorry about that.
I think even after the first show, it was a bit easier because we knew what to do, but then we had to find a new venue. But then when we found the new venue, that was okay. They charged us a bit of money, but we were confident after the first show, we were confident that we'd sell enough tickets to be able to pay them and afford the professionals and stuff like that. I think each time the trickiest bit was probably getting performers. Would you agree, Jess? Just like getting a mix of performers.
Yeah, and the first show as well, we trained a lot of people in this training, and then everyone said, but we're not going to be the first ones to do it. Yeah, and another bit of advice Steve gave us was make sure you have a mixed lineup in terms of, because he'd seen clubs where it just turned into like an all boys club, and it was just really uncomfortable and horrible for everyone concerned, and didn't survive. So so I think we were we had to work at getting a mixed lineup. Like if we just let it be and just gone with who came forward, it would have been more men than women, but I think that made it work really well. But yeah, there was a lot of coaxing of the researchers, wasn't there? I think like
Sadie, I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask Sadie, how did they coerce you?
Doing Researchers Cafe, and it was a really quiet one, and there wasn't really many people coming to my table. So Dave was actually sat at my table, and then in between me talking to the public about my research, he's like trying to coax me because someone had doubted. And I'd had 2, I don't know why I had 2 white chocolate hot chocolates from Metrics, and they're so like full of sugar. I think it's like I would have agreed to anything. I was literally high on sugar. And this sounds amazing. And that night, I literally, because I couldn't sleep, I wrote into the notes on my phone like basically my whole set like that. Was really pumped, and I think I wasn't meant to do it for like another maybe 2 months, but I ended up having to do it in May, which was maybe only like a month away from when he'd asked me, because someone dropped out. So
yeah, we know how to get the researchers on board. Feed them sugar or nachos, cakes at every meeting.
Yeah, white chocolate, hot chocolate. Oh my god, delicious. Yeah, it was.
It was.
Oh my god.
we did kind of feel like almost like drug reps or something. We would, but without the sale of drugs, but like, you know, we would go around the different campuses in and around our PhDs and our spare time, and like trying to recruit these people. It was Bright Club was a second job for sure, like hands down. And I think, and I don't think, and I mean, now is proof of that. I can't do it on top, you know, and Jess can't do it on top of her, you know. After that first year, actually, Jess handed the chalice over to me because she said, you know, she has to focus on her PhD. She can't do this full time. And it was, I wouldn't say to the jeopardy of my PhD, but I'd be like, I definitely had to run around a lot harder to get my PhD done and run Bright Club and run all the free workshops on weekends and sort things out on evenings and email professionals and get things done. It takes time. But I think, but it was just like maybe an addiction it just felt so good to run shows. Every show went so well that like you were like, well, then why would I stop this now?
Yeah. I
I
totally
got
understand.
good response. And it just became like part of your being. It was in your blood. Like,
Yeah.
even when Nikhil was running it again and I was concentrating on my thesis, in every possible meeting or every time you have a conversation with people, you're like, Bright Club, do you know about Bright Club? And hands down, my favourite moments was at the Festival of Doctoral Research, and the Vice Chancellor was doing, like, it was either the Vice Chancellor or the head of Doctoral College, some important person was doing their talk, and they said, and this year Bright Club has been part of the festival, in case you don't know about Bright Club, and then basically gave the same spiel that I'm telling everyone. I'm like, oh, something else is, like, it's got through to this guy. Oh, worth it.
I would get emails being like from like someone I've never met before in Southampton, and they'd just be like, oh, we heard about you because of this Bright Club thing, and I was like, mission achieved.
Yeah.
This is what fame feels like. I will have to start carrying a pen for autographs because people in Southampton know us now. and in fact, I left the university for a year. So I finished my PhD, and then I was like, well, I can't run Bright Club. I have a full-time job and I'm going to be working in Winchester. And then I came back to the uni, and it hadn't even been a day in my return, and I was already getting messages from people being like, when is Bright Club coming back? I heard you're back at the uni.
Oh my god, I love that.